Why did you punch that person in the face? I was a delivery driver having a crappy day. My last delivery was to these nasty ghetto apartments. I delivered the food, the guy gives me a 25-cent tip. I'm feeling defeated and just wanted to go home to take a cry. I walk to the stairwell and a guy steps from around the corner and sticks a knife to my gut. He tells me to give him my money, phone, keys, and anything else I had on me. I handed him my phone and wallet, and he goes to dig in my pocket, and I push him back and sock him as hard as I can. He stumbles back, I pulled his shirt over his head, and throw him down the stairs. He lands and lays there for a minute as I'm coming downstairs. He is trying to get up, I pick up my phone, and then the screen was busted. I gave him a good kick in the side, took my wallet, phone, and his wallet, which had $7 in it. Took his phone and spiked it at the ground in front of him and went back to my car. Damn, that guy was angry. I was not expecting this was like, why'd you punch that person? This is not like why you just completely disrespected, destroyed this man. Like, that's just like overkill. Like, okay, I get it. You know, this guy did have a knife to you and like, obviously that's like pretty deadly, but spiking his phone to the ground, that's hilarious. Story 2. Ex-boyfriend tried to break into my parents' house in the middle of the night. He probably would have been successful had he not been so loud. It ended up being a tag team effort by my brother and I to get him to leave, and several blows were exchanged. Weird bonding experience between us, and we never spoke of it again. My parents never found out either. Yeah, what bonding experience, you know? Punching your ex-boyfriend with your siblings. Not a lot of people can say they've done that. Story 3. I was 11 at the time, visiting my dad on the weekend, playing around with some of the neighborhood kids. When I tagged one kid, and I crap you not, he turns around and spits a huge loogie right in my face. Point blank. I was a pretty fast and strong kid for my age, early growth spurt and whatnot. The skinny little kid took off all the way home with me, right behind him. The little crap made it inside to his drunker dad's house, so I went home with my friends. They come up with this idea that I would pretend like it was all cool, and we invited him and his brother to play hide and seek with us. His brother was the same age as us, and we all told him what happened. And I said I wanted to fight his brother, and he had no problem with it. So we all got together in partners in the backyard, and that's when I told the kid that I wanted to fight, and he accepted. I won the fight pretty fast considering I was bigger. Just a couple of punches, and I was done. That's when all of a sudden the brother who was watching me fight, his bro threw his hands from behind me, and with a warrior yell, he lunged at me. Reflex took a hold of me, and I hip tossed his judo style into the grass. They both took off to their dad, who came out with a shotgun on his porch, drunk off his threatening to shoot me if I ever got near his kids again. Totally worth it, to be honest. That loogie was huge as hell. Wait, why is this man bringing a shotgun to a kid fight? This kid legitimately said he was 11. Why are you bringing a shotgun to these kids? All you have to do is just put your fist in there. And like that's enough. Story 4. Because someone threw a ball that I was trying to catch, and I did not see the girl standing there next to me, and definitely didn't mean for my rapidly thrust out hand to hit her in the side of the face. I was going for the ball, but caught nothing but cheek. This was in gym class in 3rd grade, and I got teased mercilessly for popping a girl in the face and making her cry. Hey man, accidents happen, you know? At least you weren't like me, where I intention. Do I even want to say, I'm going to make myself look so bad, but for some reason in kindergarten, I don't know, it was like ADHD or something, but I was just very physical. But don't worry, I was punching boys and girls. I'm not even kidding either. I wish this was a joke. For some reason, like in 1st grade, I was crazy. I don't know what was going on with me. Story 5. Dumb telegraphed that he was about to punch me in the face, except he was all dramatic about it, working himself into doing it. I just jacked him in the face while he was cocking his arm back. That look of surprise when someone who expects to be the aggressor has to deal with pain and hasn't even gotten a shot yet. It's so accusatory. Like, how dare you hit me first? Story 6. Last real fight I got in was like, I was back in college and we were leaving a girl's birthday party. My friend used to date this girl, and when we were leaving, he said happy birthday and gave her a peck on the cheek. If you know this guy, you know he didn't mean anything by it, but her drunk, jealous boyfriend didn't know my friend. So he gets 2 friends and follows us out back. Problem for him was there was 7 of us. The boyfriend and my friend jaw back and forth. Then out of nowhere, the guy swings on me. I didn't even do crap, but it was this really wide haymaker that felt like it took 10 minutes to wind up. Gave him plenty of time to think. WTF, looks like a swing. I should duck before I ducked. Then I just came back up with an uppercut to his face, and that was the end of the fight. He was down for the count, and his friends weren't mad enough to take on 7 guys. Story 7. I gotta share my mom's story. A 28-year-old junkie kept hitting on my 16-year-old sister and started showing up around the property. My mom warned him to leave her daughter alone and never come back. A few days later, mom's boyfriend is driving with mom as the passenger. They roll up on the property, and this dude is there trying to get through the gate. Mom is insta-pissed and jumps out of the moving vehicle to punch him in the face. He finally got the hint, and we never saw him again. And this is still my favorite story about my mom. Story 8. He grabbed my friend by the breast and squeezed it so hard she yelled in pain. Then she slapped him and he grabbed her. I took 3 steps and I unloaded a right cross that broke his jaw, knocked him out, and dislocated 2 of my knuckles. He later tried to sue me and got yelled at by the judge when I told my side of the story. Man, that's really unfortunate. I mean, it's a really good deed you did that, but it's really unfortunate that you end up breaking through your knuckles. But that's how you know. Like, if someone's breaking their knuckles on your face, oh man, that's just... that can't feel honey good, right? Story 9. Walking home today, some effort bumped into me and instantly started talking crap about aluminum being the best metal. I tried to remain calm and explain to him that iron was actually the best metal, but he wouldn't take a hint. He started throwing around words like rust and I lost it. Punched him right in the aluminum-loving effing face. Story 10. Because he made a very rude gesture with his hips towards my then girlfriend. I called him a loser and kept walking. He followed me out to my car and swung at me. I punched him in the face and then proceeded to beat the crap out of him. He was my size, 5'10". Unfortunately, his 6'4" baby Huey friends, they were both brothers, jumped in. I didn't care. I saw my girlfriend, now my wife, on one of their backs just clawing the crap out of him. And that's when I knew I'd married that girl. Oh, that's a power couple if I've ever seen it, If my girl doesn't claw my opponents out, I don't want her. Show this to my future wife. I want show them. Show this exact footage. My future wife does not claw out the aggressors in a fight. I don't want them. Story 11. Because he put his hand on my shoulder from behind me while saying, "Give me all your money." After I came out of a bar/music venue after delivering like 20 pizzas one night. Turned out he was drunk and was joking, but I didn't think it was terribly funny when I felt a stranger's hand on my shoulder while being spoken to in a threatening manner. Yeah, there was nothing, that's just weird, you don't go to... Why are you joking with a stranger like that? Story 12. He wouldn't stop picking on me for being fat. Punched him in front of the high school staff while we, the middle school, were touring before starting the following year. He flipped the burger. At my school, kids would say this and then slap your man's tits to me. Didn't take it as well. Put him into a gym locker. Set a hot glue gun to my neck. I still have a scar. Walked in and jacked him in the mouth. Yeah, I remember there was this one game in my school. I have no idea how this hasn't started more fights than it did. But pretty much when someone's back is facing you, you would slap them on the back of the neck. You'd be like, "I got your neck." Or you'd say some dumb shit. I totally forgot what it was. Story 14. I was going to a bodega by my old house and saw this dude, middle-aged, well-to-do-ish. Middle-aged looking scrawny white dude, just seeming extremely disheveled and staring at me. I go in, buy my beer, and this dude follows me to my car. I ask him what's up, if he needs help or an ambulance. He's just not saying anything, and this whole time I'm just trying to de-escalate it. His hand is behind his back. I tell him to get the F out of here, and he needs to leave me alone. Dude lunges at me, and I give him a warning and say, "If you do that again, I am going to F you up. Now please leave, and let's not do this." Nope. Dude lunges at me yet again, and I drop him. He gets up and says, "That hurt," and I say, "No, dude, now get the fuck out of here." As I'm leaving, cause F all this BS, guy runs and 2-foots the hood of my car. That was it. I wrapped him up and basically beat the living crap out of him. I never want to do anything like that ever again. At this point, people are coming over to see what just happened, and this guy's face is effing leaking bad. I tell everyone to stay away from him and to call an ambulance if they care to. I leave for 30 minutes and go back to tell my homies who worked there what had just happened, cause I didn't want it to blow up into a whole thing. They told me the dude was still being a psycho when they came out to help him, and then called him an Uber. A BMW Uber shows up and refuses to take him because his face is covered in blood. His wife wound up coming to get him. From what I was told, she had a not again type of speech with him. Apparently this guy was an aerospace engineer for Delta, or one of those airlines, from what my friend who worked at the bodega told me. Really wish it didn't happen because I fractured my hand doing it. I was just stone cold sober, so it just really freaked the F out of me. If anyone ever says don't F with me, do yourself a favor and just listen to it. You might think you're capable, but you never know what they're capable of. Okay, no offense though, if the person doesn't have arms, I think I know what they're capable. Okay, is that joke in bad taste? I don't know if I should have made that joke. I'm gonna leave it in there because I need some character development in case that was a bad joke. Yeah, some people are just some weirdos though. Also, little pro tip is if you ever have a really drunk friend or so, or they're just being a nuisance, and you think you're doing them a favor by calling them a an Uber, be very careful. Because if you do call someone an Uber, and they do anything to, let's just say they try to assault the Uber driver or anything, you can actually get your account suspended. Story 15. I pulled up to a drive-through ATM, the kind with 2 ATM machines in a single line, and I pulled up about the same time a Mercedes pulled up. And the first ATM up front was empty, and he stopped at the second one, basically making me wait behind him instead of us both pulling up and using it at the same time. I didn't see any signs or the red light on the first ATM signaling it was out of money to withdraw or out of order. My then fiance, now ex, just rolled down her window and asked, "Sir, is the first ATM not working?" Keep in mind, she didn't really necessarily say this in a rude way or in any way. He replied by saying, "Mind your effing business, B." So I just rolled down my window and said, "Whoa, man, she's just asking a question, so you don't have to be an a-hole about it." At which point he walks to my car and asks if I have a problem. I get out my car and say, "Look, I don't have a problem, but you just need to step away from my car and go back to your business." At which point he gets right in my face and says, do something. At this point, my ex hops out and gets between us and just says, "Come on, let's go." He balls up his fist and puts it 1 inch from my face and says, "I didn't think so, B." At this point, I'm getting raged up. I calmly said, "Remove your fist now or you'll regret it." He swings at me and I dodge it, apparently in doing so hitting my ex in the shoulder. I didn't see that, that's just what she said. So as soon as I swoop back up from the swing, I deck him 1 time in the nose and he stumbles back. I then proceed to see him holding his face. He said I assaulted him and he was going to call the cops. I said go for it, the ATM cameras probably picked up enough. He followed me in the shopping plaza for about 10 minutes on the phone, which I can only assume he was reporting me. I got him a B and left and went to go get some food in another shopping center. Didn't hear anything from the police, so I can only assume they either saw the footage or told him, "Sucks to be you, bro." Not my proudest moment, I'm generally peaceful about things, but you can only push somebody so far. Story 16. We were playing Super Mario Bros. And I was Mario. He was getting mad that I wasn't dying, waiting for his turn, so he put me in a headlock. I pushed him off me and punched him. He got mad and went home. A few days later I was walking home and he ran into me with his bike. I think he moved away after that as I didn't really see him anymore. Yeah, this is one of those stories where this just seemed really unwarranted. I mean, obviously it just seemed like he was kind of like roughhousing with his friend, like just putting him in a headlock and all that. I mean, there's not really much context, but to push him and punch him just seems kind of overboard. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this dude just sounds like the crappy friend. Story 17. A good friend / roommate of mine got drunk on Cinco de Mayo. Came home yelling at his girlfriend outside our house at 3 a.m. and beating her car. Punched a hole in our front door, broke dishes, hitting the walls, and screaming like a maniac. Long story short, I tried to help him find his inhaler by driving 30 minutes to his girlfriend's house when she was at our neighbor's the whole time. He asked to use my phone to call her, proceeded to throw huge fits, and at one point dropped my phone. I asked for my phone back, and he immediately started threatening to punch me in the face and F me up. Came into my room and threw my crap around, called me a no good friend, and shoved me multiple times after I told him to stop. He pounced on top of me, hitting me, so I punched him in the face repeatedly to knock him out. He was so intoxicated, he barely flinched. Soon after I left and cut that F stain on my life forever. Yeah, I don't know why this guy was continuously trying to help this guy, you know. I feel like after the first 2 red flags this guy kind of did, you know. He should probably been out of there, but I guess, I don't know. Story 18. My boyfriend cornered me. We were yelling at each other, and suddenly I was trying to get my stuff and he stands over me. And I thought he was going to hit me, so I preemptively defended myself and punched him in the mouth. He just had dental surgery. I'm not proud of this at all. Then he took me by the shoulders and threw me down the stairs. It was a bad day. It's sort of a thing I kind of replayed in my brain a million times by now. I was scared he would press charges because he tried to be all, she thinks she can get away with hitting me because she has a vagina, then told everyone that I hit him constantly. It wasn't true, but he's got a violent history. It's not credible. He's in prison right now, actually. Statute of limitations passed. No charges, thank God. Thinking back on it, I don't know if I would have reacted any differently being cornered. You corner an animal and they'll attack you too. See, this is kind of a weird case because there could be more context to the story. Like if she was cornered and, you know, she was actively trying to escape it and gave warnings and all that, and then punched him in the face, I would definitely say that was 100% warranted. But let's just say she was cornered for like 2 seconds and then reacted. You know, I would say it's probably a little of an overreaction. But yeah, I mean, based on the context, you know, I mean, there's no way to tell. Story 20. I was in Barcelona for a study abroad trip 2 weeks ago, and I was at the club called Opium. So it's like 3 to 4 in the morning, and people started leaving the club to go to the catwalk, the other club next door, so I hopped outside to smoke some weed because it's legal in Barca, and well, when in Rome, I guess. This guy walks up to me and sees/smells me smoking and comes in my general direction. I got some jewelry on me, and I know that pickpocketing and activities of that sort are prevalent in Barcelona. He starts chatting me up and making moves on me. Pretty sure he was gay, but the whole time I see him staring at the jewelry, so obviously I'm extremely sus and a little high at this point. But he goes to dab me up just as I was about to go catch up with my friends that we were also heading to the catwalk, and he wraps his pinky finger around my gold bracelet that I have on. Just as he was about to run, I socked him so hard in the face that my knuckles were bruised for the next 3 days, and his nose started bleeding and crap. The police patrolled the beach where the club is on, saw me punch him, and came. I explained in my best Spanish possible that he tried to rob me and showed them the bracelet that he stretched as a result of him trying to rip it off, and they put him in handcuffs, and I was released. Story 21. He'd been bullying me for a while, then one day in math class he kept continuously flicking me in the ear, and I snapped, Ralph E. Parker style. When the teacher separated us, she asked what happened. He got detention. She told me if I ever tried that again, I would get put on report, meaning school suspension, a week of detentions. I didn't get any other punishment. The teacher knew he was the instigator, and she was a damn good teacher. After class, he came up to me and apologized. Then he said he didn't know I had it in me, and well done for finally standing up for myself. Yeah, F you too. He never bothered me again, so I guess that's nice. I will say though, I don't know why this reminds me, but guys are weird when it comes to like fights. Like one thing I've noticed is when it's 2 girls fighting, right? these, like, you could do something. If you're a girl and you do something to another girl, dude, they'll hate you in like 10 years. Like, they won't forget that. But if you're a guy, you could like punch each other till you're a bloody pulp and then like just dap each other the next second. Be like, wow, that was a good fight, man. And then become best friends ever. It's really weird. Story 22. He followed me home for weeks bullying me. I got tired of taking the moral high ground. And one day when he, 6 inches shorter and 50 pounds lighter, took a swing at me, I let it land on my shoulder while the other arm nailed him in the mouth with a violin case. This was 6th or 7th grade. I've not seen his face in 50 years after that. Totally worth it. Story 23. My mother was driving me and my little sister to school one day when we were in elementary school. Some random guy opened the passenger seat and hopped in the seat only to be smacked hard as F by my mom. She went full mama bear, clawing at him and crap. Turns out his wife drove the same model and color car and was like 2 cars behind us. He didn't blame her for what she did, and his wife thought it was hilarious. Man, that's so unfortunate. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone like listening to this story instantly thought this was like some weird predator kind of crap. But it just turns out it was just a normal man. He was just an ordinary man. I think he was going in his wife's car. Can you imagine? Like, you think about entering your wife's car and then you just get clawed out by this random lady. Story 24. Kindergarten recess. Boy was messing with me. Here's the background. First thing I remember my dad ever teaching me was how to make a fist. I was his firstborn and his only daughter, and he took self-protection very seriously. I'd practice punches in his hands. He used to always tell me I had an advantage because I'm a lefty. They'll never expect it. My dad always said if a boy is doing something to me that I don't like, first ask him to politely to stop. If he doesn't, ask again, but forget politeness. And if he still doesn't stop, sock him. Fast forward to kindergarten on the playground, a boy was giving me a hard time about something. I honestly don't remember what, but I followed my dad's rules. When he failed to stop after my second request, I balled out my fist and landed a quick left jab square in his face. Of course, I went to the principal's office, one and only time, and my mom and dad were called in for a conference. I was heavily scolded by the school staff, but my dad defended my actions. Reiterating, I followed his rules to the T, and I was defending myself. I didn't get into trouble. I recall a high five from my dad somewhere in there. Positive outcome, no one ever messed with me ever again after that. I will always say this in like most videos, is somehow always come to this point of I really think teachers are more of a problem than bullies. I know it can sound like a really weird point to make, but I swear, I like personally for me and all the stories I've read, I really feel like teachers are the kind of people that have created the environments to let bullies prosper. That's something I've noticed a lot. And it's messed up. Like, for example, you know, this girl is clearly just defending herself and then she gets scolded. You know, she gets kind of shunned for defending herself. And in this case, it's just like it's basically putting the bully on a pedestal. And a lot of times teachers are just bigger bullies than the actual bullies themselves. But yeah, teachers can be very problematic because sometimes their actions indirectly support the bully without them actually knowing.